So, I was gonna make a video on Rashid Warren versus Payano. My mind kind of took me down a rabbit hole. The first time I've seen Rashid Warren, it was when Adrien Broner was in St. Louis. He had on his band camp memorabilia or whatever, and I was walking through the hallways. It was in between fights. I think it was right before Adrien Broner fight, and this guy comes in. And I had noticed him earlier because he's probably about 5'5", something around there. And the dude looked like he wore a size 3 shoe. Like his feet was hella small and just looked weird. So he leaves, he comes back in, and it's like his nose bleeding or something. And it's one of the other little dudes, I think his name's like GX or something like that. He's like, "What's wrong with you, bro? You bleeding and everything." And it looked like somebody had whooped Rashid Warren ass. In hindsight, I have no idea what happened. I don't know if he fell. I know he's a professional boxer, and regardless of how much power he displays in the ring, that has nothing. That means nothing when you're talking about punching a civilian in the face. So I doubt somebody whooped his ass, but to be honest with you, that's how it appeared. Anyway, so it leads me to Adrien Broner. And I remember when Adrien Broner came in, he did the same antics. He sung, he danced. I think he maybe humped the dude in the ring. And but he knocked him out. And I think I discovered through going through like my little mental warp the issue with Adrien Broner. And if we go further down the rabbit hole, it's the issue with a lot of fighters. And that issue is the way they fight in the ring or the way they perform in the ring is not fight specific. They always fight the same way. And they're not paying attention to the little intricate details that the guys before them, the little small subtle changes that you do to tailor your style to whatever opponent. You can't fight everybody the same. If we look at Adrien Broner at his losses, he fought those guys the way he fought guys that he could knock out. He wasn't knocking out Sean Porter, and he wasn't knocking out Marcos Maidana. And that was the issue. He did the same thing with Paulie Malignaggi, and that's the reason why a lot of people felt that he may have lost the fight. He fights everybody the same way. So what he was doing at 135 and 140 is going to be completely ineffective at 147. So that's what it is. He's going to have to come up with a game plan and be fighter specific going forward. If he does not, I don't see him beating anybody at 147. You can't fight everybody the same way. It's that simple. You know, that's one thing I kind of admire about Keith Thurman is that he does bring in certain sparring partners that mimic the fighter he's actually going to fight. He does kind of tailor his style a little bit. I remember when he fought Bundu, he brought in a whole bunch of guys that was able to switch. And he tailored his style so much to Linda Bundu that he was able to become a switch hitter in the middle of the fight and score a knockdown. And that's what these fighters are going to have to start doing. They're going to have to start using these training camps not to get in shape and to shake off all that fat and shake off all those nachos and soda that they drunk while they was living life. They got to stay in shape and they got to go into training camp, and everything has to be fighter specific. If they don't do that, especially a lot of these American fighters, I see them all losing and getting knocked off. All of them losing and getting knocked off for lack of discipline. And in Broner's case, you're seeing exactly how that movie ends. You're seeing him gaining weight, blowing up in between fights, going in there, not being fighter specific, fighting the exact same way for everybody, fighting like a knockout fighter for guys at 147 pounds that he can't knock out. I'm out.